ready to go with Game 2 of the night in Greenville, South Carolina. And we shift to action in the South region, where we find the Fighting Illini of Illinois coming off of a dominant first-round victory over the Ivy League champions from Penn, taking on the VCU Rams out of the Atlantic 10, coming off of a gripping 19-point come-from-behind victory in overtime on Thursday against North Carolina, as VCU and Illinois set to meet up for a trip to the Sweet 16. Will it be the Big Ten representative seeded number 3 in this South region? Or will the 11th seeded Rams go on another Cinderella March run? We say hello, one and all. I'm welcome you back to Greenville. Matthew Owens, thanks for having us in for this second round game, Illinois and VCU. It's the first game of the second round in the South region, along with Texas A&M and Houston going on as we speak in Oklahoma City. In fact, it's the winner of Houston and A&M to play the winner of this game. Houston's well out in front of Texas A&M in that game as we speak in OKC. Illinois, they were tremendous in their first-round victory here Thursday night against Penn. And, of course, of all the teams that are being talked about teams that can go to the Final Four and win the national championship, doesn't feel like Illinois is getting talked about enough. This is an uberly talented team. They can score in bunches. David Mirkovic, the freshman from Montenegro, put in 29 points in the victory over Penn. They hit 15 threes on the night. They can come at you in so many ways and at so many angles, and threes were falling all over the place in that victory over Penn. Mirkovic also had 17 rebounds to go along with those 29 points. It's a really good rebounding team that Illinois has here, with Brad Underwood leading the Illini to a 6th NCAA tournament in 9 seasons at the helm of this program. Meanwhile, VCU against North Carolina on Thursday played sloppy for most of the game, dug themselves a big hole, didn't look like they were ever going to get out of it, because every single time they tried to get within 10 or 12 and did, North Carolina would have an answer. VCU, with 15 minutes left in that game, trailed by 19, then went on a big run, forced overtime, where they eventually dispatched of the Tar Heels 82-78. And the biggest reason why VCU made the comeback and scored the victory was because of Terrence Hill Jr., who doesn't get a lot of starts, only 2 starts the entire year, but he led VCU this year in scoring and assists. That's why he was voted 6th man of the year in the Atlantic 10, and he scored a career-high 34 in the win on Thursday. And we are underway in Greenville, Game 2 of the night. VCU in black uniforms win the tip, and off we go with this Big Ten Atlantic 10 squabble for a spot in the Sweet 16. Brandon Jennings drives the left baseline and kicks it out on the wing. Lazar Djokovic, who had a great game on Thursday night, shoots and misses a 3. Short rebound swatted out of bounds, and Illinois will have possession. Kylan Boswell, the great transfer from Arizona, along with Keaton Wagler, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, in the starting lineup for Illinois, along with Jake Davis, David Mirkovic, who had that 29-point, 17-rebound double-double, and Tomislav Ivicic gets the start at the 5. That's the lineup for Brad Underwood, as Illinois brought it into the front court, and we get an immediate foul as Wagler was contacted by Barry Evans. Evans, a part of the starting lineup for Phil Martelli Jr.'s team, along with freshman guard Nick Lewis, Brandon Jennings, Tracy Evans, and Djokovic. Wind out the starting 5 for Virginia Commonwealth University. Illinois wore home whites on Thursday night against Penn. Tonight they wear orange uniforms, blue numbers, white trim, and turning down the lane is Boswell, and his runner clinks off the rim, no good. Rebound, Stratfor, found and put in by Tomislav Ivicic, who scores the first points of the game. And after the play, we've got a VCU player down. It is Nick Lewis, who is down and writhing on the floor in pain. He came soaring in for the rebound. It slipped out of his hands, and wow, oh my goodness, when he came down, he rolled his right ankle, and it looked, oh goodness, we don't obviously never want to speculate about injuries, but it did not look good when he came down on that right ankle. Now, Of course, there's sometimes when an ankle gets rolled that it looks bad and it's not as bad as it looks, but oh goodness, that did not look good initially for Nick Lewis, freshman from Washington, D.C., that led VCU in scoring in the A10 tournament final. He had 17 points and 11 rebounds in that final that they beat Dayton in. Gets help to his feet and not putting any weight at all on that right foot. He is helped to the end of the VCU bench. Would be a real damaging blow to this VCU team to lose Lewis, who is in the starting lineup every night for VCU. He's to the bench and play restarts, and VCU brings the ball up the floor. Jennings hands it off at the head of the key. Barry Evans gives it to Tracy. Tracy off left wing. Entry feed, Djokovic, low post left. Drew a double, gave it back up for a drive inside by Tracy, hard to the rim, and he had it blocked. He got it back. Second bid wouldn't go either, and eventually it's Illinois with the rebound. Avicic ended up with the rebound. Wagler was on the floor, and Avicic helped Wagler to the back up to his feet while he was holding the ball. And Illinois has it. On offense, out of the right corner, Mirkovic feeding Davis off right wing. Now Mirkovic again, short corner right. Terrence Hill immediately into the game after Lewis rolled his ankle, and he's defending. Mirkovic turns, lost the ball, got it back, then lost it again. Out of the pile with it is Evans. Here comes VCU from our left to our right. Evans spin cycle in the lane, goes up strong, and lays it in off glass. VCU's first points. Ties the game at 2. And it's Barry Evans, the senior from Baltimore, transferred in from Bryant. Before that, he was at St. Bonaventure. Illinois the other way, and Avicic has it poked out of his hands, tries to recover it, and it's stolen by Tracy, who throws it ahead in transition, and that's stolen by Kylan Boswell, who loops a transition pass to Mirkovic, who hits the brakes, turns it outside for Boswell again. VCU getting back defensively to slow the pace. Illinois set up in the half court, and Boswell will shoot a left wing three. Lines it up, missed it short. Brandon Jennings the rebound. It's 2-on-3 the other way. Jennings feeds the left wing. Tracy's free for three. Missed it badly off glass. Djokovic tips the rebound out of bounds. It'll belong to Illinois. It was Avicic who met Tracy at the summit. Couple of trips back as Tracy went hard to the hole to try to dunk it down, and Avicic said no way. So here comes Illinois from our right to our left. Orange uniforms, dark blue numbers, white trim, white headband over the forehead of Boswell as he reverses it back to the top of the key for Mirkovic. Now to Wagler, freshman of the year in the Big Ten. Back pedals, feeds Mirkovic, dribble drive, spins inside, kicks to the left corner, finds the open shooter, and hitting a three is McCordsville, Indiana's Jake Davis, a 41% three-point shooter, knocks it down. At the other end, Tracy tries it again. His right arc three misses off the left side of the iron. Mirkovic scoops up another rebound, and Illinois is into the front court quickly with Boswell. High, hard, left-handed dribble for Boswell. Takes a screen from Avicic. Boswell chisels to the right elbow. Lofts it back up top. Mirkovic, head fake, drive, kick. Boswell out of the right corner. Muscles his way inside to the rim. Leaves it for Avicic, or make that Mirkovic. And Mirkovic scores underneath the cylinder. Boswell with a nifty assist. And Mirkovic with another basket. It's 7-2 Illinois. 3.5 minutes gone. Terrence Hill Jr., who had that career-high 34-point performance on Thursday against North Carolina, feeds Djokovic left wing. He dribbles right across the arc, hands off for Jennings, gives it uphill, scoops it into the left corner. Evans cuts his way into the paint, pops it out right wing. Djokovic, he'll line it up, misses the three. Another Illinois rebound. Mirkovic vacuums it in. Rams might be one and out a lot tonight if they can't hit shots, and they've already missed their first 4 from 3. Here's Mirkovic off right wing, head fake to get by Djokovic, drives inside, dumps it underneath, Avicic with the catch, and he reverses it up and in from close range. Illinois blitzes VCU off the hop here. It's 9-2. Virginia Commonwealth, of course, not unknown to be behind in this tournament, obviously, as we've got a whistle and a foul going against Illinois as Jennings tried to slice his way inside on a drive. And that'll lead to our first media timeout of the night, with Illinois out in front of VCU 9-2, 3 seed versus 11 here in the South region. And a really hot start for the Illini, who finished 4th in the Big Ten standings by going 15-5 in Big Ten play. The win on Thursday against Penn was their 25th of the year. They're 25-8 on the season. A 7th consecutive 20-win season. Only 4 schools can say that they've done that. Illinois is one of them. Brad Underwood has done a really good job in the 9 seasons now that he's been at Illinois. Doesn't get the credit that perhaps he deserves. He's led Illinois to 6 NCAA tournament berths in 9 seasons with the program. They came off of a quarterfinal loss in their Big Ten tournament game against Wisconsin. 91-88, they lost that game in overtime. That's how their regular season ended, with that conference tournament loss. But this is a superb Illinois team. They score a lot of points, over 84 a game, and of course just thrashed Penn here on Thursday as they beat the Ivy League champions 105-70, with all of those players scoring in double figures. Merkovich, Tomislava Visic, Wagler, Boswell, Humrickhouse, all in double figure scoring on Thursday night. And Jake Davis went scoreless in that win over Penn. He's already got 3 points on the board tonight with that jump shot from just a moment ago. But yeah, this Illinois team, they're very talented. 50% they shot from the field against Penn. They hit 15 three-pointers and out-rebounded them by 23. They had 20 offensive rebounds. Great rebounding club. 11th in the country, in fact, in total rebounds. 20th in offensive rebounds at 13 a game. Let's update you from the games going on concurrent to this one here on this second round Saturday. Houston is heading towards a blowout victory over Texas A&M. Houston's up by 30. They are, in fact, inside the final minute of that game. It is 87-57 in favor of the Cougars. Texas and Gonzaga, which is going on, of course, on this channel on another stream. That's a tight one. Early second half, Texas leads 43-42. And the next game to tip off will be Vanderbilt and Nebraska in about a half hour or so from Oklahoma City. Vanderbilt a very slight favorite. Nick Lewis, who rolled his ankle just basically a minute and change into this game, he went to the end of the bench. He has now been taken into the locker room for VCU. So the freshman that has started every game this season for Phil Martelli Jr., it would be a huge loss, as we said, and he has been taken into the locker room as play restarts. Here's a logo three. Terrence Hill has it repel off the front of the rim. No good. Djokovic offensive rebound. He floated his putback off the front of the rim. Comes right back to him. He knifes it into the left corner. Head fake by Jennings. Baseline drive to the rim. He goes. Forces it up through contact from Humrickhouse. It wouldn't go. There was no whistle, in Illinois claims the rebound, and VCU just can't get them to go. They've missed 9 of their first 10 to start. Meanwhile, Illinois has made 4 of their first 6. And they're on offense here with Wagler. Right-handed dribble under a hunkered stance. Leaps into the lane, dumps it off underneath, and Merkovich lays it in off glass. Illinois with a great start. It's 11-2. Here's VCU with it again. Djokovic, top of the arc. Drifts right, handoff Jennings, lofted to the wing. Hill on the attack, steps back in the corner, fires up a 3 and pours it in. Terrence Hill Jr., off of that 34-point game against North Carolina on Thursday, a career high, hit 7 threes. And he's on the board tonight with his first 3-point hit. Here's Wagler handling the ball. Following him defensively is Jennings. Wagler, left-handed dribble. Strong to the hole. Hesitation. Gets defenders airborne. Goes up. Misses the shot but draws a foul. And Wagler will head to the free throw line. So Wagler will go to the foul line. What a story Keaton Wagler is. He's ranked 150th in this freshman class, according to 24/7 Sports. Most outlets had him well outside the top 100 in this class. As he hits the first free throw, he had just 2 high major offers. One of them was from Illinois. That's where he chose to go. And now a season later, he turns out to be Freshman of the Year in the Big Ten, averaging 18 points per game along with 5 rebounds and 4.5 assists. He was top 10 in the Big Ten in scoring. Misses the second free throw. Rebound popcorned around. It's available. Mirkovic got it. Loads it up outside for Stojakovic. Steps inside the arc from the left. Reverse for Mirkovic, and the possession continues for Illinois. Shot clock sitting at 10. Mirkovic jousting with Hill. He steps back with a 3 that he misses, but there's a whistle and a foul going on Mirkovic as he tried to lean in. He extended that forearm out on Hill. He's called for an offensive foul. So it'll go back to VCU. Third turnover for Illinois. One of the best teams at not turning it over, too. This team is. They average less than 9 turnovers a game, 6th fewest in the country, but already 3 in the first 6 minutes. Hill into the front court playing catch with London's Michael Bell. Back to Hill, reversal on the right wing. Jennings trying to shake free of Wagler, and he loses the ball. Davis dives on the floor to get the steal and pushes it ahead in transition. Stojakovic to the rim, and from behind, it is blocked. Tyrell Ward got back to reject it from behind. Ball ends up out of bounds. It'll stay with Illinois. It was last off the outstretched hand of Bell. Heck of a hustle play by Davis to get the steal and push it up, but what a play by Tyrell Ward from behind, the transfer from LSU. Illinois trying to inbound it from underneath. Wagler gets it in. Short corner left. Humrick-House dribbles to the outside. Centers for Stojakovic. Puts it on the net. Drives up the right lane line. And to the rim he goes. And he lays it in. Andrei Stojakovic with the basket. Transferred in from Cal, where he scored 18 points per game last season. Before that, he was at Cal's arch rival Stanford. Terrence Hill Jr. for VCU along the arc to his left. Feeds the corner. Ward tries to step up the baseline against Davis. Hooks it into the right corner. Bell catches, sets his feet. Now he'll drive up the baseline. Goes in with the left hand, lays it up, and it's a glass and rim miss. Well defended by Zvonimir Avicic. Just into the game, the 7-2 Croatian. Illinois ball. Wagler takes a screen, cuts right, launches a wing 3. It's an air ball, and it's out of bounds untouched. It'll belong to VCU. As we said, this is an Illinois team that will come at you in waves. Absolutely a team that could end up in Indianapolis in the Final Four in a couple weeks' time. VCU ball, Terrence Hill. To the right elbow he comes, spots up with a jumper, and it's blocked. Stojakovic came over from the side and swatted it before it even got off his fingertips, and Stojakovic has the ball into the offensive end. Grinds his way into the paint, creates space, leans in with a floater off glass and rim, no, but a foul is called. And Stojakovic will be at the free throw line. Houston has gone final with a 31-point victory over Texas A&M, 88-57 that final, as Stojakovic, an 83% foul shooter, will go to the foul line here off of a 9-point game Thursday against Penn. He's missed that first free throw wide left. "36th NCAA tournament appearance for this Illinois program. And for the 5th time in the last 6 tournaments, they've won at least a game in the tournament. Second free throw good from Stojakovic. Illinois up early by 10. VCU struggling to put the ball in the basket. They bring it up the floor again, and Ward will stroke a right wing 3. Misses off the heel, and Stojakovic climbs the ladder for the rebound, and he'll bring it up the far side of the floor into the front court. Attacking to our left, hunkers down, gets inside from the right elbow, and to the rim he draws another foul, and Stojakovic will be right back to the free throw line as VCU has fouls starting to rack up here, 4 of them in less than 8 minutes. Stojakovic to the stripe again, junior born in Greece. Of course, his father, probably know his name, as first free throw is good. Peja Stojakovic, longtime professional, playing most notably with Sacramento in his career. Well, now his son doing his thing on the college level at Illinois. Makes the second foul shot. So Houston officially through into the Sweet 16. They will play the winner of this game next Thursday in the South region, which will be played in Houston. Brandon Jennings carves out a lane and gives it up to Evans, who drives inside, and with the left hand, layup is blocked. Zvonimir Ivicic got another one. And here comes the Illini up the floor, spinning his way inside from the right. Stojakovic turns, kicks it outside, open for a three. Merkovich has it clatter off the rim, no good. Long outlet as VCU picks the rebound. Michael Bell into the front court, hits the brakes, finds a trailing Ward. Ward shovels his way inside, goes at Ivicic, missed the layup. Back tap on the rebound, recovered by Terrence Hill Jr. VCU ball, Hill swings it to the right corner. Evans catches, fires away on a three, and knocks it down. Much needed three ball there as Barry Evans puts it in. Played in the Atlantic 10 with St. Bonaventure before going to Bryant. Made the NCAA tournament last season with Phil Martelli Jr. Then followed him to VCU. Illinois ball in from the left. Merkovich kicks, right corner. Boswell's open, and Boswell rips the cords with a corner pocket three. Illinois can't miss right now. 20-8 they're in front. Bell at the other end. Jab step at Big Z. Zvonimir Ivicic swings it right on the wing. Jennings sets the feet. He launches a three, and that's a rainbow, and it goes down for Brandon Jennings, the sophomore from Richmond. VCU's going to have to make a lot of jump shots tonight to stay in this game because they are outsized down low. Going to have to make a lot of shots, period, because we know Illinois will. Stojakovic off left arc, centered ball. Boswell cuts to his right. Bell defends. Boswell, a couple of crossovers with the fancy footwork. Lefty layup miss. Loose ball underneath the cylinder. Ball slips out, squirts free. VCU's got it on the outlet. Hill with a long feet ahead. Bell lobs it up. Oh! And rearing back is Tyrell Ward with a jackhammering slam as he oops the alley in transition. Tyrell Ward with a nasty slam. VCU with a little bit of momentum here. Merkovich backs his way in. High post left against Jennings, who nearly ripped it away. And it's a whistle, and it's an offensive foul on Merkovich, who was trying to get the ball back after Jennings loosened it up. And he commits the foul. And VCU with some razzle-dazzle stuff with a quick flurry to get back within 7 at the timeout. Under 12. Nearing the midway point of this first half. Well, VCU, slow start. Nice recovery, though, here in the last couple of minutes. Illinois trying to make another run in this tournament. Got a team that can absolutely do it, but of course VCU, a program that made one very notable run. Hard to believe it's been a decade and a half since Shaka Smart took VCU from the inaugural First Four all the way to the Final Four. Now it's Phil Martelli Jr. that's trying to do the same for this VCU program, minus the First Four part, as they made it in as an 11 seed by winning the Atlantic 10 tournament title, defeating Duquesne, St. Joseph's, and Dayton 3 games in 3 days to take the title in Pittsburgh last weekend. So the Rams of VCU into their 21st NCAA tournament. The win over North Carolina on Thursday marked their 14th all-time program win in the tournament, and making it to the second round for the 10th time in program history and for the first time in a decade. 2016 was the last time they were in the second round prior to this year. And this is a team that a lot of people looked at that could be dangerous in the tournament. They were a trendy upset pick in the first round. After digging themselves a big hole, they were able to fight out of it and take down North Carolina on Thursday. It's left the Tar Heel fan base in disarray ever since, as a lot of talk about Hubert Davis perhaps not being back as the head coach at North Carolina next year. Hubert, who did look quite lost in the post-game press conference after that stunning loss on Thursday. Texas and Gonzaga, as mentioned, on a separate stream on this channel. Just checking that score. Still a tight game. They're midway through the second half. It's 51-49. The Longhorns out in front. There's a VCU band is playing, and leading the band is a gentleman in a Michael Jordan, North Carolina jersey, which is interesting. As play will restart here with Illinois inbounding. And into the offensive end to our right. They get it into the hands of Avicic, and he launches a three and hits it. Tomislav Avicic, that is. And he knocks down his first three, and Illinois back to a 10-point lead. Firepower all over the place with this team, as here's a turnover. Pass by Tracy, didn't find Djokovic, and Illinois off the steal. Brings it back up, and missing a left corner three is Wagler. Long rebound came out to Hill, and Hill is galloping behind the pack in transition, and he glides to the rim and lays it home with the right hand. A quick hit right there off the missed three from Wagler, and Hill with a quick deuce. Of course, VCU with a great bench presence, particularly with Hill, as Illinois on offense. Mid-post right, Avicic tries to bat down Djokovic. Double comes, it's lofted out Boswell. Quick repost to Avicic, who has it punched away by Djokovic. Ball ends up out of bounds in front of the VCU bench, and it's going to go back to VCU as they create the turnover. Djokovic in there doing the dirty work on the inside. He had a really good game, particularly in the first half on Thursday night against North Carolina. Tomislav Avicic to the bench. You've got the Avicic brothers, Tomislav and Zvonimir, on this Illinois team. VCU up the floor. Evans on offense, left baseline, loops the ball to the left elbow. Djokovic had it poked away by Boswell, recovered by Hill. Top of the arc March Madness logo. Drifts to his left, slashes towards the wing. Boswell to close him out. Hill still with it, pokes it along to his right. Into the corner, it ends up in the hands of Evans, whose three swirls out. Offensive rebound kept alive, put back up by Tracy. It wouldn't go on his first attempt. It does on his second. Tracy with some second chance points, and VCU, despite the tough start offensively, grinding away here and staying within arm's distance of the Illini. Wagler back up the floor, nearly had it poked away by Hill. Gets around a screen, Wagler turns the corner at the foul line, leans in, pivots, spins it back outside. Humrickhouse directs it to the right. Wagler's there again. He'll drive down the middle through traffic, and he had the ball grabbed, and it's a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with Illinois. Tracy creating another big play defensively for VCU. Illinois keeps possession, but the shot clock inside of 5. It's at 4.4. So they'll have to do it quickly here off the trigger. Wagler looking to get it in from underneath. Loops it to the top of the circle. Caught there two-handed by Merkovich. Shot clock at 2. Shot clock at 1. Merkovich a drive. Scoops it up. Off the rim. It won't go. Fight for the rebound. And we've got a whistle going against Illinois as Zvonimir Avicic went over the top, going for the loose ball. And that will lead to a timeout on the floor with under 8 to go in this first half. 23-17 our score. Illinois in front of VCU. Second round action in the South Regional. And the winner to play in Houston against Houston next Thursday night. A part of that South Regional where Florida is the number 1 seed. Gators, sprinted past Prairie View A&M last night. One of the largest margins of victory in tournament history. 114-55 was the final. So Florida at the top of that South Regional bracket. They'll play 9th-seeded Iowa in their second-round game tomorrow in Tampa. That South Region is a very eclectic group of teams in it. Houston, again, as I said, to play either Illinois or VCU through this game. Then at the top of the bracket, Florida, Iowa. That's tomorrow. Vanderbilt, Nebraska is later tonight as the 4 and 5 seeds in that region. And they'll all meet up in Houston next weekend. Thursday, Saturday regional is the South. Texas and Gonzaga remains tight, 55-54. Texas leads by 1. They're inside the final 8 minutes of that game. Again, that's on this channel on a separate stream. Seth Eves taking you through all of the action there between the Zags and the Horns. This is the second game of 2 in Greenville. Earlier tonight, Duke with a win over TCU, ending that game on a 43-18 run, and in the end put it on cruise control in a game which really for about 75% of or so was really tight. As we bring you both Greenville and Portland Pod games on the channel here tonight. High Point and Arkansas coming up in the second game in Portland after Texas and Gonzaga. And then tomorrow we'll also bring you 4 more games in second-round action. We'll bring you both games from St. Louis, which is Miami facing off with Purdue at noon, followed by Iowa State jousting with Kentucky. And we'll also bring you both games from the Philadelphia Pod. That features Virginia tussling with Tennessee and UConn squaring off against UCLA and all of the combined national championships in that matchup between the Bruins and the Huskies. How about those two coaches, Mick Cronin and Dan Hurley? There's a lot of emotion between those two coaches. We'll put it that way. Nick Lewis has reemerged out of the VCU locker room. He's sitting on the end of the bench with that right ankle completely wrapped up. Would be pretty surprising to see him again in this game. VCU has the ball as we restart play. Out of the right corner, Tracy catches, can't put up a 3. Merkovich was there to close him out. Out to Hill, long right wing 3. That clatters off the cup, no good. Rebound poked at by Ward, regathered by Wagler, and Illinois has possession from our right to our left into the front court. Orange uniforms, dark blue numbers, white trim. Wagler with the ball in his hands, dribbles to his left, slashes back right. Ward defensively, reversal pass to the perimeter, intercepted. Barry Evans, no one in front of him, and he'll slam it home. Another transition bucket for VCU, and it's Evans who slams that one down. Illinois is back quickly into the offensive end. Now they'll slow the pace with Boswell, senior from Champaign. Dribbles left along the arc, feeds it on the wing. Wagler's there to take. Flashing to his right is Humrickhouse. Instead he gives it to Boswell. Humrickhouse there to set a screen if he wants. He does. He rolls to the basket. Boswell keeps. Screen comes from Ivisic. That ball poked away from behind. Another steal. Here's Evans the other direction. Does not have numbers. 2 on 3. Hits the brakes, turns it outside. Gets it back left corner. Launches a 3. It's off the rim. No good. Rebound taken by Wagler. Illinois with the ball in their hands again. They've been a bit sloppy with it here, and Wagler nearly lost it there too. They've turned it over quite a bit here early, something they don't normally do. From the head of the arc, 3 is released. Merkovich misses, too strong. VCU the rebound. Up the floor with Hill. Dribbles right, cuts back left, in the lane. Wagler grabbing at the ball, trying to take it away, but we've got a whistle. Foul on the floor. It's going to go against Illinois. 15 foul against the Illini. It was on the floor, so it'll be an inbound from underneath for Terrence Hill Jr., sophomore from Portland. Will trigger the ball in. Once he's given the ball by the official, standing underneath the basket, VCU missed 14 of their first 16 shots from the field. Now they've made 6 of their last 10. Hill given the ball. He'll loop it inbounds. Caught two-handed right of the midcourt logo by Bell. Bell gives it back to Hill, who slips it into the left corner. Jennings catches, fires a three, missed everything. Rebound stashed and taken by Boswell, who erupts up the floor. Feeds it cross to Wagler. Wagler feeds the right corner. Three launched. Stojakovic in and out. Offensive rebound came back to Wagler. A reset. Wagler loads it up around the right arc. He'll put it on the net. Drive by Djokovic on his way to the rim. Flips it up. Glass and rim miss. Rebound scrap four in the hands of Jennings. VCU with it again. Jennings the other way, handoff Hill, turns on the Jets, right to the rim he goes on a blow-by, and he lays it in with the right off glass, and it is 23-21 with under 6 minutes to go, and VCU, who was blitzed on the start here, back within a pair. Boswell dribbles the ball on the edge of the March Madness logo at midcourt, reversal to his left, Mirkovic, Stojakovic comes to get the ball, 2 Rams up on the scorer's table, set to check in at the next whistle, as Mirkovic nearly lost it, had it knocked out of his hands. It's out of bounds. Looks like there's a foul called against Tracy, as he was the one to try to knife it away. Foul is on the floor. Actually, they might not call that a foul on Tracy. And at least for now, they haven't posted a foul. And in fact, they have posted a foul on Illinois. And they are giving possession to VCU here. So Tracy able to knock that ball away. And it was last off Stojakovic. So VCU ball. Illinois with 4 turnovers in their last 6 trips, and now VCU could tie it or take the lead on this trip up the floor. Bell dancing top of the circle, gives it at the head of the arc. Ward flashes in, drive from the left, he goes to the rim, he misses, he gets it back, and then he scores. Tyrell Ward has tied the game at 23. What a roar here by VCU. After getting blitzed on the start, Boswell at the other end, able to clock his way into the lane, leans into traffic and draws a whistle. And Boswell will shoot at the line, as they do call that in the act of shooting. 6 team fouls now on both sides here. This will be 2 shots for Boswell. Second season at Illinois after playing 2 seasons with the Arizona program. 1 dribble of the ball, Boswell, then another, spins the ball in his hands, bends the knees, flicks the wrist, free throw is no good. One more for Boswell. Substitutions come pouring in for Phil Martelli Jr.'s team. Ahmad Noel, who doesn't get to play a lot, only about 10 minutes a game off the bench, sophomore from Philadelphia. He's just checked in. Second free throw is good. Illinois puts a nose back in front, 24-23. They committed 3 turnovers in the entirety of the game on Thursday against Penn. They have 7 in the first half alone. Sounds a lot like what Duke dealt with in turnovers in that first game, as here's Bell, loaded it up off the right wing, fakes the 3, dribbles into the lane. He got shut off by the defense of Tomislava Vicic. Had to play it back outside. Hill nearly lost the dribble through traffic, winds it back out. Bell, late shot clock. It's at 3. It's at 2. Bell in the lane, fadeaway jumper, misses off the front of the rim. Rebound taken by Vicic, shoveled in transition to Stojakovic. Stojakovic hits the brakes, gets set up in the half court. Now he puts the accelerator back on. On his way to the rim, he draws a whistle. He went after Bell and got the foul, and that will be the 7th team foul against VCU. And both teams now in the bonus. Stojakovic has had a good first half, and he swirls that first free throw around the rim and down. Djokovic checks back in for VCU. Bell is who he replaces. He takes a seat on the bench after picking up his second foul. Zvonimir Vicic back in for Illinois, replaces his brother Tomislav. Texas and Gonzaga, 5.5 to go in regulation time there. The Longhorns lead by 6. You can find that stream on this channel. Stojakovic hits the second free throw. Illinois leads 26-23, just north of 4 minutes to go in this first half. Good fight back here from VCU after a very slow start and disjointed start. Hill directs a bounce pass along the arc from right to left, taken by Evans. Shoveled for Djokovic, standing 17 feet away from the basket. Back pedals to the perimeter, puts it in the hands of Hill, fakes a three, now he'll take it. Hill swishes it down, rips the cords from downtown, and we're tied again. Under 4 to go in this first half. Wagler able to seesaw his way into the front court, reverses to his right, three is launched, missed off the back of the rim from Zvonimir Ivicic, rebound VCU, Hill in transition, lead feed, could not be handled cleanly by Ward as he made a cut towards the basket, out of bounds, it'll belong to Illinois. Timeout on the floor with 3:35 to go first half. VCU and Illinois tied at 26 in second round action from the South region in Greenville, South Carolina. Well, it has been VCU turning the screws, particularly defensively. And again, this is a team that got blitzed off the start. It was 11-2 Illinois. Since then, a 24-15 run that VCU has gone on. Winner plays Houston in the Sweet 16 next week. Just keeping an eye on that Texas score. They have hit a 3, and the Longhorns are now up 64-58. They're inside the final 5 minutes there. If you haven't kept up with tournament action today, if you've been out and about on this Saturday, Michigan led only by single digits at halftime, blew away St. Louis in the second half to win 95-72. Michigan State fought off Louisville 77-69. Duke played TCU, tight game for about the first 60% of it. Then the Blue Devils turned it on and walked away with an 81-58 victory. And Houston beats up on Texas A&M by 31 points. An 88-57 final puts Houston in the Sweet 16, along with, as mentioned, Michigan, Michigan State, and Duke. Texas and Gonzaga fist fighting for a Sweet 16 spot as we speak, and so too is VCU and Illinois. 2 more games yet to tip off. Vanderbilt and Nebraska will tip off in only about 5 minutes in Oklahoma City. And then later tonight in Portland, Arkansas goes at it with High Point. Panthers that defeated Wisconsin in the opening round on Thursday. What a thrilling game that was. High Point's flown a lot of students out across country from High Point, North Carolina to Portland, Oregon. They actually flew a lot of students out there for the first game on Thursday, and now they've flown a lot more extra out there for this second round game tonight. Should be a really good atmosphere in Portland later tonight, and we'll have that for you on the channel as the Razorbacks go after the Panthers. 26 all with 3.5 left to play in the first half as VCU and Illinois going at it here, Big Ten versus Atlantic 10. And as we said, Illinois with that great game on Thursday, and they came out firing on all cylinders tonight, but since then VCU has kept up with them. And particularly, they've stiffened up on defense as VCU, and that's what's made the biggest difference as Kylan Boswell, off the restart of play, jumps into the lane, and he gets called for a travel. Another Illinois turnover. Boy, have they been struggling with them tonight. That's 8 turnovers by Illinois. And VCU again with the ball. A chance to take the lead as Hill dribbles up the floor. Directs a pass to his left at the top of the key. Evans back for Hill again. Comes left elbow. Fadeaway jumper. That's pure. VCU has the lead. First of the night. As with 3 minutes left in the first half, the Rams lead by a basket. Boswell brings it to the front court for Illinois. Stands on the March Madness logo at midcourt. Drifts to his left, directs it that way. Stojakovic behind the back on the dribble. Takes it to the hole hard. Oh, Stojakovic climbs the ladder and soars to dunk it down. Great first half from Andrei Stojakovic. He's got 9 points. Oh, here's a deep three from Hill off the glass of brick. He shot it from beyond the March Madness logo at midcourt. Illinois the rebound. Up they come. Wagler took a screen from Boswell, got open for three, and that was off the left side of the rim. It barely grazed the rim, and it could not be saved from going out of bounds by Humrickhouse. So it's back to VCU again, 2:20 left. Evans inbounds it in the backcourt to Hill. Illinois is led by as many as 12 in this first half. Hill on the March Madness logo again. Djokovic a screen, and Hill swings a pass into the left corner, and it's out of bounds, a turnover. Pass intended for Evans, who had made a cut up the baseline, not anticipating the pass to be where he was. It's out into the Illinois bench, a turnover, and up comes the Illini. Boswell brings it up. Crosses midcourt. And let's see who's going to finish this first half the best and take momentum into the locker room. Stojakovic outside right. Shimmies and shakes his way to the elbow. Lost the handle. Was able to get it back before Ward could get it from him. And now Stojakovic spins to the rim. Lays it in, plus a foul. A difference maker in the first half. Andrei Stojakovic. Chance at a three-point play as he got the contact from Hill and finished through it. And one free throw is up and good. 12-point first half for Stojakovic. He averages 13 a game. Has just about gotten that in the first half. That foul on Hill was his second. That's a major moment in this game for VCU as Ward launches a left corner three. Misses badly. Rebound Illinois. And a chance to extend the lead here as we approach the final 90 seconds of the first half. Boswell, front court right, drifts to the wing, sends it for Humrickhouse, top of the arc, back to Stojakovic, and that's the hot hand to roll with. He puts it on the net, drives, climbs left blocks, fadeaway jumper, banks it in, soft touch off the glass. Andrei Stojakovic. Tremendous first half here. Here's a crossover dribble at the other end, and Hill steps into a three. Misses off back iron. High for the rebound, Savonimir Avicic. An Illinois ball. A minute to go, first half. 5-point lead, looking to extend it, and it's into the hands of Stojakovic. Why wouldn't it be? Spins out to his right. Handled by Noel defensively, who's slapping at the ball, and he got a piece of it. It's into the backcourt. Recovered by Stojakovic. He fumbles it again. He swings it right. Humrickhouse steps into a three. Clatters off the rim. Rebound. Swatted. Knifed out of bounds. Last off Noel. It'll belong to Illinois. Shot clock will reset to 20 with 38 seconds to go. Here in the half, VCU players were looking back at the bench. Phil Martelli Jr. thinking about challenging this. We'll see if he does. Neither team has taken their use it or lose it timeout either, so he might get a timeout taken here. And we are going to get a timeout on the floor one way or another. Meanwhile, I want to keep you up to date. Texas and Gonzaga. That game grinding towards a finish between the Longhorns and the Bulldogs. It is on this channel on a separate stream. We can tell you with 2:22 left. Texas leads by 5 at 69-64. Texas trying to get to the Sweet 16, although Gonzaga does have free throws to try to cut into the lead. 1-1. And the first one is good. Seth Eves is calling that game on this channel. You can find the stream. It's St. Superi that's at the foul line for Gonzaga. As said, he just hit the first, and he also hits the second. That makes it a one-possession game, 69-66. Can Texas knock out the West Coast Conference champions and get a double-digit seed to the Sweet 16? SEC versus WCC in this second-round encounter in the West. Big possession coming up for them here as they lead by 3, and we'll see who they try to get it in the hands of. Vokatitis posting up down low. They can't get it to him. It's a late shot clock. It's a long three, and it pops out, and Gonzaga's got the rebound. Got a chance to tie with a 3. St. Superi, though, is going to drive inside, loft it back out to the perimeter. And Gonzaga sets the offense. They've hit 4 threes on the night. It's back into the hands of St. Superi. Turns the corner around a screen. He throws up a lob for Ike, who barely lassos it in. He turns to the baseline. Fadeaway jumper. He's missed it. Texas finds the rebound. Big empty possession there from Gonzaga, who trails by 3 with now 1:20 left in Portland. Still waiting to come out of the timeout in Greenville. We'll get you and bring you that coverage at the end of that first half once it restarts. But Texas is on the ball here. They've got another late clock. They've milked it down quite a bit. Shot clock's at 5. 1 minute to go in the game. A 3 is launched. It's no good. Vocatitis taps the rebound, but Gonzaga has it. And here come the Zags one more time with a chance to tie if they can hit a 3. They don't absolutely have to take it, though. Clock is rolling. 45 seconds left in Portland between Texas and Gonzaga. St. Superi has the ball. He drifts it inside. Oh, and going hard to the hole is Ike, and he flushes it down, a one-handed slam. That makes it a 1-point game with under 40 seconds left. Graham Ike has 25 points. He leads all scorers. Texas takes a timeout with 32 seconds left, leading by 1. Winner of that game goes to the Sweet 16 out west to play either Purdue or Miami next Thursday. Back here in Greenville, Illinois inbounds, and a step-back jumper in the lane from Stojakovic goes down. Of course it does. He has been on a different planet in this first half. VCU gets into the front court and calls a timeout. That last stoppage was for an Illinois timeout. And the Illini are ahead by 7 with 27 seconds left in the half. Use it or lose it timeout taken there by VCU, and Phil Martelli Jr. will have a chance to draw up a play. So Texas leads Gonzaga by 1, 32 seconds left there. And a flurry here at the end of the half from Illinois to go ahead by 7 after VCU led briefly just a couple of moments ago by 2. Illinois out-rebounding VCU by 6, 22-16 in the free throw line. Major difference right now, just as it was in our first game between Duke and TCU. Illinois is 8 of 11 from the free throw line. VCU has yet to attempt a free throw in this first half. Andrei Stojakovic has been the best player on the court in this half. VCU inbounds, there's only a 1-second difference between game clock and shot clock. So holding the ball in his right hand is Barry Evans. From the right of the March Madness logo at midcourt, he lets the clock bleed down. It melts to 10. Then he hands it off to Tyrell Ward, who was doubled. Given head of the key, Tracy. High pass to the left wing, taken by Hill. 4 seconds left. Tracy spots up a 3. It's off the heel. Boswell high for the rebound. Illinois has it. That ends the first half. First half in the books. And it is Illinois leading by 7. Meanwhile, Texas has just made a 3 to go ahead by 4 in the final seconds, and that looks like it is game over in Portland. They just rebounded a Gonzaga miss. Vocatitis, lefty layup with 2 seconds left, and Texas is going to knock out Gonzaga. 11th seeded Texas hooks another victim and storms into the Sweet 16. They knock out Gonzaga 74-68. Texas goes to the West Regional Semifinals as they knock out the Zags. Another heartbreaking exit in the tournament for Mark Few and Gonzaga. Graham Ike played a great game, but it's Texas that moves on. Sean Miller in his first season with the Longhorns, taking them to the Sweet 16. Texas advances, and we reach halftime in Greenville with Illinois leading VCU 35-28. We will step away momentarily, catch our breath, fill up the water cup over here, and we'll be back shortly with some updates, numbers, figures, and we'll be ready for the second half of Illinois and VCU. We are ready for the second half to get started between Illinois and VCU in Greenville, South Carolina. A 35-28 halftime lead for the Illini after shooting 46% from the field in the first 20 minutes. VCU shot 32%. Two teams went a combined 7 of 30 from three. Big discrepancy in free throws. Illinois was 8 of 11 from the foul line. VCU did not attempt a single free throw. Illinois led by Andrei Stojakovic. Off the bench, he scored 16 points. He averages 13 a game. No other Illini player was in double figures. And as it usually is for VCU, it was Terrence Hill Jr. coming off the bench to lead the way for the Rams in scoring. He had 12 points in 19 minutes. The only minute he didn't play was the first minute of the game. As usual, didn't get the start, but came right in, especially after Nick Lewis rolled his ankle in the first minute and change of the game, and we did not see him return. Illinois ended that first half on a 9-0 run, and we get the second half underway with VCU handling the ball. They lob it in to Djokovic, who catches on the left block. Winds his way inside through traffic, lifts it up with the right hand, and it misses off glass. Rebound down to Illinois. And the Illini have possession for the first time in the second half. Attacking to our right with orange numbers, orange uniforms, dark blue numbers, and white trim. And we've got a whistle foul on VCU as Tracy commits a foul, as he was trying to hold back the pass from Tomislav Ivicic. Illinois to trigger in from underneath. Wagler lobs it over the top. Caught, foul line extended off the right. Merkovich, who had that huge game on Thursday, didn't do a lot of scoring in the first half. Here's Wagler winding in off the right lane line. Back out Merkovich. Return for Wagler off the right wing. Takes a screen, steps back, fires a three, and slashes it down. Wagler with a downtown hit, and now Illinois is on a 12-0 run. They trailed briefly at the end of the first half by 2. Now they're up by 10. At the other end, Tracy spinning through traffic to the rim. He lost the ball on the way up, and Illinois comes away with it. Boswell dribbles into the front court to our right, takes a screen from Merkovich, slides in, up the left block, muscles it up, it won't go. Offensive rebound, Ivicic back out, loads up a three. Merkovich, he hits it. Merkovich hits the three on the second opportunity. Now it's a 15-0 run that Illinois has. And a 13-point lead, which is the largest they've had all night. Jennings for VCU, centers at the top of the arc. Hill feeds it right. Tracy puts it into the corner. Up the baseline. Evans leaps into the lane. Right-handed hook shot is in. 41-30. Off the basket by the Baltimore senior, Barry Evans, who has 9. Wagler back up. They blitz him with a double to get it out of his hands. He gets it to Merkovich, driving right up the middle. He throws up a lob. Tomislav Ivicic over the top, dunks it down. That was way, way too easy. They doubled hard Wagler at midcourt, and then no one stopped Ivicic down the lane, or Merkovich down the lane. And meanwhile, at the other end, we've got a whistle. It's going against VCU. Terrence Hill Jr. took a step too many. Yeah, no one stopped the ball with Merkovich after he got the pass from Wagler when they trapped him. Illinois by 13. Merkovich brings the ball up the floor. Gives it to Boswell from the left of the March Madness logo. Loops it this way. Taken by Tomislav Ivicic. One-handed to Boswell. Boswell slashes, straddles the arc on the left. Feeds it back this way, Wagler. Boswell again. Steps into a three over Djokovic, who defended it well. Off the heel, it's missed. Rebound, pinballs around. It's out of bounds. It's going to VCU. Wagler wants Brad Underwood to challenge this. It was ping-ponging around down there between Wagler and Jennings, and it does look like it went off the right foot of Jennings last, so Illinois will challenge, and they will probably get that upheld, or get that changed, rather, as we get a timeout. Barely 2.5 minutes into the second half. Do want to tell you that they are underway in the second game of the day in Oklahoma City. That's Nebraska and Vanderbilt. with Nebraska up 21-15 early. That's a second-round game in the South region. Winner will play either Florida or Iowa in the Sweet 16 in Houston next Thursday. Also, we'll tell you that next weekend, the Sweet 16, Thursday through Sunday, the West and South regions will play Thursday, Saturday games. The East and Midwest will play Friday and Sunday. Regional semis on Thursday and Friday. Regional finals to book tickets to the Final Four on Saturday and Sunday. So again, an Illinois challenge here, as that clearly looked like it went off the foot of Jennings. So we'll probably come out of this timeout with a reversal of the initial call. But Illinois erupting out of the gates in this second half, much like they did to start the game. And here they are, finding themselves up by 13. They didn't lead by as many, by that much in the first half. And VCU chipped and chipped away at the margin in that first half, and in fact took a 2-point lead, but Illinois has come out, and they are currently on a 15-2 run going back to the end of that first half. Again, you've got Andrei Stojakovic leading all scorers with 16 points on 5 of 7 shooting. No other Illinois player in double figures. And then on the VCU side, only one player in double figure scoring. That's Terrence Hill Jr. with 12. Next leading scorer is Barry Evans with 9. And so far, Lazar Djokovic has been held scoreless by the Illinois defense. Djokovic had a fine game against North Carolina on Thursday. He scored 15 and 5 and was the third leading scorer of this VCU team behind only Hill and Nick Lewis. Again, Lewis rolled his ankle right off the top to start this game, and we have not seen him in the game since, with his right ankle heavily wrapped. Again, an Illinois challenge that I have to imagine a call will be reversed, because it looked pretty clear that it was off the foot of Jennings.
After review, the call has been overturned. The ball is off Black's foot. The ball will be given to Illinois on the baseline with 20 on the shot clock.
Good challenge from Brad Underwood and his staff, as it will go back to Illinois. On a 15-2 run, they lead by 13. They'll inbound from underneath. Wagler looks to get it in. He does, as it's a two-handed catch on the right elbow to Merkovich. Return for Wagler, who turns the corner, drives down the lane from the left, puts it up on the rim, and it won't fall. Rebound reached at and grabbed by Tracy. Bounces a pass in transition up the left-hand side of the floor to Evans. Evans immediately beginning to post up on Merkovich. Spins on the baseline, has to pass it back outside for Tracy. A reset. Tracy drifts right, puts it into Djokovic's hands. Back for Tracy, right corner, jab step at Davis. Djokovic a screen, getting to the right elbow. Tracy pulls up with the jumper, and it rolls around the rim and drops in. Much needed basket there for VCU, as Tracy, the senior from Fort Myers, scores his first points of the game. He had missed his first 7 shots from the field prior to making that one. Illinois ball. Boswell pump fakes on a pass, feeds Wagler right wing, gets around the screen set by Tomislav Ivicic, steps back, feeds Ivicic now. He'll stroke a right wing 3, misses short. Long rebound run down by Jake Davis. Return to Wagler. Ivicic a screen. Wagler dribbles right, up the right lane line. He loses the ball. Recovered by Ivicic. Poked away by Jennings. Ivicic still has it. Turns left, banks it up from 3 feet and misses. Rebound VCU. Terrence Hill up the floor, feeds it right, touch pass by Evans into the corner. It found Jennings, return for Hill to the right baseline. His pull-up fadeaway misses. Rebound down to Davis. 4 minutes gone in the second half. Illinois ball up 11. Boswell into the front court. Off the left side, takes a screen. He'll drive it. Tracy goes to the rim. Tracy tries to jar it free. It's a foul called. So the foul on Tracy, and that will be in the act of shooting. Free throws coming for Illinois. Great start to this second half for Brad Underwood's team as they lead by double figures. Give you an update once again on Vanderbilt and Nebraska just underway in the Oklahoma City pod. It's a 21-17 lead for the Cornhuskers coming off their first ever NCAA tournament victory on Thursday, beating Troy. Now taking on Vanderbilt, who made it, of course, to the final of the SEC tournament last week where they lost to Arkansas. And speaking of Arkansas, it's they and High Point who will play in the final game of the day out in Portland. We'll have that game on this channel on a separate stream as HPU and Arkansas do battle. High Point coming off their first NCAA tournament win on Thursday as well, just as Nebraska was, both trying to reach a Sweet 16. Would certainly be unlikely Sweet 16 appearance for High Point, not so much for Nebraska, who of course has been so very good this year. Tomorrow's tournament action begins at noon Eastern Time in St. Louis. The 2-7 matchup in the West region features Purdue taking on Miami. Then another 2-7 in St. Louis. That's in the Midwest region. Iowa State tangling with Kentucky. Then St. John's in Kansas is at 5:15 in San Diego. At 6:10 in Philadelphia, Virginia battles with Tennessee. At 7:10 in Tampa, top-seeded Florida in the South battles Iowa. At 7:50, it's Arizona and Utah State as they joust for Sweet 16 positioning out in San Diego. UConn and UCLA play in Philadelphia. That's an 8:45 p.m. scheduled tip time for UConn and UCLA. And the final tip time of tomorrow's slate is Alabama and Texas Tech in Tampa, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Here on this channel, we will have 4 live streams for you. We'll have the 2 games in St. Louis and the 2 games in Philadelphia. That means we'll bring you Miami, Purdue at noon, followed by Kentucky and Iowa State. Then we'll bring you Tennessee and Virginia at 6. That's quickly followed by UConn taking on UCLA. That's the slate on the channel tomorrow, as we'll have 4 of the 8 games on the slate, just as we had today. And already we have booked Sweet 16 spots for Michigan, Michigan State, Duke, Houston, and Texas. Texas, the number 11 seed in the West, moving forward into the last 16 of this tournament. Michigan beating St. Louis earlier today by 23, a matchup between Big Ten and Atlantic 10, just as this one is between Illinois and the champions of the Atlantic 10, VCU. Kylan Boswell at the free throw line for Illinois out of this timeout. 2 shots, and the first one off front lip and in. Nebraska now leads Vanderbilt 27-19. That is late first half, so it's been defensively dominated game, particularly from the Huskers. They've only given up 19 points in 15 minutes. Boswell missed the second free throw. Brandon Jennings climbed up for the rebound and tossed it ahead in transition for Tyrell Ward. Illinois is +9 from the free throw line. They've made 9 shots from the foul line out of 13 attempts. VCU is yet to attempt a free throw. Jennings off the head of the key. Feeds it left. It's Ward on the elbow. High post left, bringing it back out. Shoveled for Hill. Back for Ward. Top of the key. 3 skips off the cup. Offensive rebound snatched by Jennings, but he got covered up by Merkovich. Had to kick it out. Djokovic is open. He'll try his luck on a 3, and it misses. Djokovic is still scoreless on the game. Boswell flies in for the defensive rebound for Illinois. Orange shirts and shorts, dark blue numbers, white trim for the Illini. As here's Stojakovic, a 16-point first half, driving left baseline to the basket, missed the layup. Rebound tapped by Djokovic, covered by Jennings, who lofts it ahead, and it's Djokovic in transition to the rim. Oh, he tried to create a highlight reel dunk, and he missed it. And Phil Martelli Jr.'s saying that he was fouled at the other end. Oh, not missing the dunk is Savannah Mirovic. Big Z with a big finish. A rim rattler! Michael Bell at the other end misfires a left arc three. And Illinois rebounds. Zvonimir Ivicic leaves the rim in tears, cranking Illinois' lead up to 14 with about 14 minutes left. Boswell on the ball at the March Madness logo at midcourt. Everyone's still oohing and awing over that dunk. Illinois has a huge run here, 20-4 spurt. Boswell a straight on three. It's good! Boswell snaps the net on a line drive triple. Illinois' lead balloons to 17. Second three of the game from Boswell. VCU brings it back up. Phil Martelli Jr. not calling a timeout. Jennings off left wing, centered ball taken by Hill, swings it, right corner, Ward testing the baseline, cut off by Merkovich, back outside. Hill will go up that baseline, he gets cut off, loses his balance. Djokovic is there to recover the ball. Back into the corner, three launch by Hill, leaves it short, rebound was taken by Humrickhouse, and it got knifed away from him. Out of bounds to Illinois. My goodness. Zvonimir Ivicic with an all-time sequence, rejecting the Djokovic dunk, and at the other end, wow, slamming it down and putting just about the whole VCU defense on a poster. Illinois leading by 17. Play restarts. Last foul was on Jennings, his third. Now we have another whistle. And another VCU foul by the looks of it. And Phil Martelli Jr. is beside himself over on the VCU bench. They had such a slow, sluggish start that they were able to recover from and even get a 2-point lead late in that first half. And it's all come undone here. And actually, we've got a technical foul here on Martelli, the head coach, who was upset at the missed dunk from Djokovic that Ivicic blocked. He thought Ivicic should have been called for a foul, and that really lit him up. Stojakovic missed the first free throw on the technical, but he makes the second. Illinois wins the race to 50, now leads by 18. And yeah, Phil Martelli Jr. is fired up over there. First-year VCU head coach. Inbound far side front court. Humrickhouse puts it in. And a drive up the middle is thrown up by Merkovich. Muscled up through traffic. It wouldn't go. The rebound just volleyballed around, and Tomislav Ivicic recovers it back to Merkovich. Low post left. Hooks it up on the move. It won't go. Another tap from Humrickhouse. That wouldn't fall. And we've got another whistle. And possession's going to VCU. But Illinois, that's a tough, tough team to get a rebound against. My goodness. Here's VCU into the front court. They haven't scored in 4 minutes. Tyrell Ward dribbles along the arc to his right. Hands it off for Evans. Back for Ward. Ward drives the right baseline. Cut off by Merkovich. Back to Djokovic. Hand off right wing Hill. Djokovic a screen. Hill turns the corner. Drives right through the teeth of the Illinois defense. Puts it up on the rim, and somehow it backspins off. Rebound Jake Davis. Illinois on the ball once again. Turning the corner around a screen, Humrickhouse feeds the right wing Merkovich. Back up top, Wagler. Merkovich screens. Wagler sends it to Merkovich. Head fake off right wing. Puts it on the net. Drives up the middle. Lost the ball. It's stolen. Evans with a bounce pass in transition that dribbles into the arms of Hill. Behind the pack, he lays it in. Hill with a transition too. Oh, and wow, a steal by Evans right off the inbound. He hits Hill. Steps into a three. Splashes it down. 5 points in a blink. Well, VCU found a nickel on the ground, scooped it up. 5 points in a beat of a heart. 13-point game. Illinois back the other way. Stojakovic down the lane. He'll kick to the right corner. Merkovich can't get a three off as Bell closed out on him. Had to return it up top for Wagler. Bell switches on to him. Wagler crosses over. Drives at Bell. Fading jumper. It's good. Pretty touch from the Big Ten's freshman of the year, Keaton Wagler. Illinois by 15, under 12 to go here. Wagler has 6. Whistle to stop play, and that will lead to a timeout. The under 12 media timeout here as we've got a whistle, and I think it's because an Illinois player is bleeding. It's David Merkovich on his right above his right elbow. We have had a lot of blood being spewed out on this court this weekend. We had it on Thursday with TCU players. We had TCU players bleeding today. Illinois players bleeding. My goodness. 15-point game. Vanderbilt and Nebraska, last we checked, it was creeping towards halftime and still not there yet, but Vanderbilt has gone on a mini run, starting to at least put the ball in the basket a little bit more. 2:44 left in the first half. Nebraska's up 7, 34-27, and High Point and Arkansas is underway. That is on a live stream on this channel, so hit the profile picture on the channel, go into our live streams, and you can click over and you can listen to Seth Eves call High Point and Arkansas. Second round action in the West as they play in San Diego. Beg your pardon, they play in Portland, does High Point and Arkansas. San Diego's tomorrow. So, High Point in Arkansas and San Diego. In Portland, wow, that's twice in a row. Well done. And it's just underway between the SEC champions and the Big South champions. Tomorrow here on the channel, we've got 4 more NCAA tournament games for you, the games from St. Louis and Philadelphia. Also at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we've got NASCAR Cup Series racing from Darlington and the Goodyear 400. We'll have that for you, the JBM crew on the call there for that one, as NASCAR heads once again to one of its oldest racetracks as it heads to Darlington, South Carolina. And then tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll have hockey for you out west as the Calgary Flames play host to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Full day of action. 6 streams for you on your Sunday. Plenty to choose from. And we hope you'll be with us. If you're new to the channel, you like what you are seeing and hearing throughout the weekend, hit the like button and subscribe. Of course, over the last 2 days, we've brought you 8 games, 4 games on Thursday, 4 games on Friday, live updates of all the other games going on concurrent with those. Today we've already brought you 2 that are complete. We got 2 ongoing as we speak. We're just going basketball mad around here on this channel. And we wouldn't want it any other way. 15-point lead for Illinois. Shooting 45% from the field now, this Illinois team is. Led by Andrei Stojakovic, who averages 13 points per game. He's got 17 here so far. VCU inbounds to restart play. Michael Bell, the junior from London, holds the ball up top. Feeds it to his left. Hill has it on the perimeter. Changes direction on Wagler, who sticks with him. And then losing the ball is Hill. It's stolen by Humrickhouse. Lofted ahead in transition. It's Wagler against 3 defenders. And he goes against all 3 and lays it in. More points for Illinois off VCU turnovers. And it looked like Hill just totally lost control of the ball. Here he is sending a pass up high. Tyrell Ward, dribble drive, kick right corner. Hill catches, fakes a 3. Back to Ward on the wing. 3 is up, missed it short. Back tap by Djokovic, collected by Evans. Evans then dribbled it off his foot. It's another turnover. Scooped up this time by Tomislava Visic. Illinois with the ball again. Yet another turnover by this VCU team that only averages 10.5 turnovers per game. Illinois ball with Wagler. He takes a bulldozing screen from Ivicic, gives it to Ivicic. He shoots a three from straight away. It misses short. Rebound was collected by VCU's Terrence Hill Jr. Cross-court pass. Djokovic. Oh my goodness, another turnover. His pass could not be controlled by Bell. Humrickhouse away with it. In transition, scoop to Stojakovic, who flies to the rim to dunk it down. A travesty of turnovers here from VCU, and we are going to get a timeout from Phil Martelli Jr. Oh, wow. So many turnovers. And Illinois seems to be taking advantage of every single one of them. Midway through the first half, second half, it's a 19-point game. My goodness. Well, we know VCU. They know how to come from 19 points down in this tournament in the second half. They've already done it once against North Carolina, but they're down 19 here with less time on the clock, and they're going up against a much better team here today as well. And like I said, not a lot of time either. As much as there was, I mean, I know it was in the second half on Thursday, but I think it was 15 minutes left. They were down 19. Now, here they are down the 19 with just 10 minutes left. VCU on the inbound, and they get it inside right away, but Ward misses the runner. And Illinois rebounds again. Just really difficult to finish possessions at the rim against this defense as Boswell drives left baseline, kicks back out on the wing, and a three is down from Tomislav Ivicic, and the lead gets extended even more to 22 points. Ivicic has 12 points. Tomislav, that is. Jennings up for three at the other end, straight away a miss. Scrap for the rebound. Foul is called. Foul on Illinois. Just their second team foul. Nebraska and Vanderbilt now in the last minute of their first half. 4-point lead for Nebraska. VCU the inbound. Hill outside the hash mark, right side of the floor. Feeds it back this way. Tracy, jab step at Stojakovic. Gets to the foul line. Bounce pass towards the rim. Intended for Ward. Was kicked off the foot of Ivicic and out of bounds. Shot clock will recycle to 20. Inbound will come far side front court. 9 minutes left here. Inbound to a cutting Tracy to the rim. Banks it up. It won't fall. Too strong off the glass. Rebound on the floor. Picked back up by Hill. Resets for VCU. Handoff Bell, who nearly lost it. Got it to Jennings. Turned it to Tracy. Left corner three is down. Tracy knocks down the triple. 59-40. Less than 9 to go here in regulation time. Winner to meet Houston in a Sweet 16 battle in the South region on Thursday night. Here's Boswell. Ball in his hands. Dribbles to the foul line. Fadeaway jumper, and he pours it in off front lip and in. 13-footer is good from Boswell. And they've got a rhythm to them that they didn't on offense for much of that first half. Terrence Hill Jr. again, ball reversal left wing. Jennings launches a three. It was blocked by Wagler, and Wagler's got to run out the other way. Reverse layup is good. Keaton Wagler doing it all. And VCU can find no answers. Hill wanted to drive and put it on the deck. He goes at Wagler, draws a foul on the floor. They have reached halftime in Oklahoma City. Nebraska leading Vanderbilt by 7. It's a 39-32 halftime lead for Nebraska. Wagler goes to the bench. He gets a much-deserved breather. VCU on the inbound. Djokovic had it knocked away. We've got another whistle and foul, however, going against Illinois. young Illinois fan in the seats. Say he's got a sign up saying this is his first Illini game, and he's also named Keaton. He's under-recruited, so where should he sign? How about that? VCU ball with 8 to go on the inbound hill. Lofts a pass cross-court, left wing, jab step, Evans in the lane, running floater. Gets a dead ball to go in off the back of the rim for Barry Evans, who followed Phil Martelli Jr. from Bryant to VCU. They made the NCAA tournament together last year, did Evans and Martelli. Illinois ball, Boswell carves out a lane, gets to the basket, kicks it back out. Davis cycles to the left arc. Stojakovic, hot first half, poked out of his hands. Stojakovic ends up on the deck, and he is fouled. That'll be a timeout on the floor. 7.5 left here in regulation time. It's all Illinois with a 21-point lead. And boy, will it be something if we get an Illinois and Houston Sweet 16 game next Thursday. Those two teams, like I said, good luck trying to get a rebound in that game. That's a meat grinder. Try to get a rebound between Houston and Illinois. My gosh. For VCU, a spectacular season, but it would seem as if it's going to come to an end here today in the second round of this NCAA tournament. But it does feel like Phil Martelli Jr. is building on something here at Virginia Commonwealth University. And definitely get the feeling that they will have many trips to this tournament under his leadership here for the coming years. For Illinois, though, this is a dangerous, dangerous team, as we talked about. Not many people talking about them making a deep run in this tournament, but you look at how they can score it and how they can defend it with their size on the inside. They're one of the top rebounding teams in all of college basketball. They've got 5 players that average double figures scoring per game. And they've really started to build a nice foundation at this university with Brad Underwood. As I said, 7th straight season winning 20 or more games. Only 4 schools can say that, and Illinois is one of them. You always want to build a culture of winning, and culture is one of those words that it's an overused word in the sports world this year, particularly around college athletics, but it is a real thing when you can find it. Would seem that Illinois has it. So winding this one down in this second Big Ten versus Atlantic 10 game of the day. Big Ten got the first one 95-72. Michigan beating St. Louis out in Buffalo, and it certainly seems as if the Big Ten's going to win this one as well. Up by 21 with 7.5 to go. Illinois inbounds far side front court. Stojakovic in for Boswell. Bounce to the left wing. Merkovich feeds it right. 3 is launched. Line drive well short. Rebound underneath Merkovich. Turns it back outside on a reset off that Ivicic missed 3. He'll set a screen up top now for Boswell. Drives between the pipes. Hesitation. Up strong. Missed the layup. Got his miss back. Missed the second put back. Another offensive rebound. Merkovich whips a pass to the outside. They'll calm the tempo a bit. Run some more clock, but now a dribble drive inside by Stojakovic. He loses it, but he's fouled on the way inside with 7 minutes left. Arkansas leading High Point 17-13. About 9 minutes gone there. Boswell inbound from underneath. Loops a pass. It's caught two-handed over the shoulder, left elbow. Merkovich dribbles to his right on the high post. Back to the outside, Boswell. Two hands a pass. Stojakovic loops it in. Merkovich again. whips it out. Stojakovic loads up the three, and it swirls around the rim and misses. Rebound off the floor taken by Evans. Evans dribbles up the far side of the floor, scoops it back to a trailing Hill. Hill steps inside the arc, two defenders around him. Turn back up top, Evans. Dribble handoff, Jennings. Jennings jousting inside, bounces it to the left wing, in the corner. Evans back onto the arc for Tracy. Tracy, a jab step, change of direction, split through two defenders, got to the rim, layup is good, and a foul called. Chance at a three-point play for Tracy. So Tracy will try to complete the and one. Tracy at his third school, 2 seasons at St. Joseph's, then 2 seasons at Oregon. And his collegiate career finishing up here at VCU. Good season, 9.9 points per game, basically 10 a game. At that point, just round up. Retying the shoes is Tracy before the free throw. And this will be VCU's first free throw attempt of the game. And we've talked about throughout how they have not gotten to the free throw line for a team that is among the best in the country at getting there. He misses the free throw. It was rebounded initially by a Visic. It's out of bounds, and it looks like it's going to stay with VCU. VCU came into this game averaging 19 made free throws a game, 17th best in Division I college basketball. They rank 18th in free throw attempts per game at 25. They have attempted all of 1 in this game tonight, and it was missed just a moment ago. Inbound from underneath, Jennings floats it to the outside, met by Tracy. Tracy up top for Evans, shoveled into the hands of Hill, who feeds it right for Jennings. Jitterbugs his way to the paint. Lefty floater, an 8-footer is good. Turns into a 4-point possession for what it's worth. Brings that interval back down to 17. Boswell dribbles into the front court, bounces a pass, met by Wagler. Left-handed dribble, protecting the ball away from the pressing defender. It's Jennings. Screen comes from Humrickhouse. He bulldozes Jennings away, and now a switch puts Hill on the ball with Wagler. Now another screen up high from Zvonimir Visic. Wagler launching a three over Djokovic, and it's down. Wagler held onto the ball the whole trip, and he sticks a three. Hill at the other end swings the ball to the right on the wing. Tracy jab step, centered ball Jennings, shoveled back. Hill drifts right, high post, gets into the paint, skips back to his left, leaves it for Djokovic, who drives to the rim, and his layup was blocked by Humrickhouse, but a foul is called. Djokovic just has not had the kind of game he did Thursday night against North Carolina. Just hasn't been there for the junior from Serbia. College of Charleston and Xavier transfer. He'll go to the line here, Djokovic. Still VCU searching for their first made free throw of the game. Djokovic gives it to them here as that one goes down. His first point. 0 of 6 shooting day for Lazar. Still at halftime between Nebraska and Vanderbilt. Midway through the first half in Portland, Arkansas leads High Point 19-16. Djokovic, second free throw, it's good. They're now 2 of 3 from the foul line in this game. Tyrell Ward checks back in for VCU. He transferred in from LSU. 9-point per game scorer last year with the Tigers. Full court press from VCU. The inbound is in to Wagler from Humrickhouse. Wagler crosses midcourt into the front court to our right. Screen set Boswell. Wagler picks up his dribble, plays catch on the perimeter with Tomislava Visic, who has it at the head of the key. Feeds it left on the wing. Boswell, the Arizona transfer, returned to Wagler, the fantastic freshman. He's got 6 to shoot. Against Djokovic, he'll drive. In the lane, staggers, puts it up on the run. Glass and rim miss, but a foul is called. It's on Djokovic. Under 5 to go. It is staggering And I'm sure if you're a VCU fan, you can appreciate how staggering it is as Wagler misses the first free throw, how Illinois dominated the start of this game, and then VCU got their sea legs underneath them, if you will, steadied the ship, then started to chip into the lead and even took a 2-point lead late in the first half. But into the first half, start of the second half, Illinois was nearly flawless. Wagler hits his second free throw, and there has just been no coming back for VCU in this second half like they had on Thursday. Hill with a rainbow three off left arc misses. Skying for the rebound, Avicic lassoed it in. Illinois ball again as we're inside the final 5 minutes. Wagler feeds it left. Avicic scoops it to Boswell. Return for Wagler. Humrichau sets a screen. He now calls Stojakovic over, and Stojakovic gets the pass from Wagler. Skipped back left. Boswell head fake. Drive inside. Scoops it up and in. Boswell lays in another two. 69-48. A dozen for Boswell. VCU racing back up, and another turnover is out of the far corner. Jennings fumbles it. Wagler scoops up the loose ball off the hardwood. Launched it ahead in transition. Boswell slows the tempo. Illinois in no need to be in a hurry. Boswell plays catch on the perimeter with Wagler. It's in Wagler's hands at the head of the key. Humrichau sets a screen, directed off the right wing. Stojakovic entry feed, and spinning to the rim with no one near him is Tomislav Avicic. And he steps his way to the rim for a two-handed flush. 71-48. 14 for Avicic to go along with 9 rebounds. He's 1 rebound shy of a double-double. VCU ball at the other end of the floor. Djokovic in the lane. Kicks out to the right corner. Open look at a three. Knocked down by Tyrell Ward. And we've got a timeout taken here by Virginia Commonwealth. Less than 4 to go. Domination from the Orange Crush tonight. Illinois on their way to the Sweet 16. And this team right here is going to be a tough out for anyone. Again, just a reminder, their opponent will be Houston, and that's a really interesting dynamic because they'll be playing Houston in Houston. The Cougars allowed to play in that South Regional because they are technically not hosting the regional site. It's in the city of Houston, but the official host is Rice. Now, if Houston was hosting it, they would not be able to play in that region. Think back to 2010 when Syracuse was a 1 seed but had to play out west in Salt Lake City because the East Regional was in what was then called the Carrier Dome, Syracuse's home arena, of course. So because they were hosting it, they could not play in that regional. Houston does not have the same kind of thing happening to them. Yes, it is a bit semantics, but it will certainly help them when they get there next week. Houston already there, of course, earlier today. They beat Texas A&M, beat them like a drum to get to another Sweet 16 under Kelvin Sampson as they try to do one better than they did last year, Houston, when they lost in the national championship game to Florida. For Illinois, Sweet 16 appearance seems all but stamped. It will be their 13th Sweet 16 appearance. They did it as well in 2024. You might remember they ran into the buzzsaw that was UConn that year. And, of course, that was their first time making the Sweet 16 in 24. They eventually made the Elite 8 too. But when they made the Sweet 16 in 24, it was the first time they had made it that far since that great team in 2005 made the championship game. That's the last time they were in the Final Four, of course, Illinois. The runner-up in 05 after starting the season and going much of that season with an unblemished record, lost late in the year to Ohio State, had that unbelievable comeback in the regional final against Arizona, made the championship game where they lost to North Carolina. 1989 team, of course, for Illinois. Also made the Final Four, lost to Michigan in the national semifinal. Michigan, the eventual champion, in Seattle. That Final Four was in '89. They got a chance to go on another run like that this year with this Illini team. VCU called that timeout. Illinois inbounds to restart play. Clock begins to roll inside of 3.5 minutes here. Wagler walks the ball into the front court. Jennings defends. Screen from Boswell. Wagler still on the ball. He's defended by Hill, who's screened away by Avicic. 10 to shoot. Michael Bell switched on to Wagler. He crosses him over, can't get free, so he tosses it into the right corner. Stojakovic, who had the hot hand in the first half, curls in to the rim and lays it in here. What a day from Andrei Stojakovic. 21 points. 3 at the other end. Fired up and missed out of the corner. Avicic with the rebound. Stojakovic with his 8th 20-point game of the season. Boswell, hunkered stance, low dribble into the front court. Illinois fans come to their feet as the clock strikes 2.5 minutes. That last rebound by Avicic did give him his 10th rebound at a double-double. Boswell launches a 3, it misses. Rebound was run down in the corner by Terrence Hill, and we've got a whistle. Play has stopped with 2:27 on the clock. Tomislav Avicic with his 3rd double-double of the year. 14 points, 10 rebounds. For the junior from Croatia, he and his brother Zvonimir on this team. Of course, Zvonimir starting his collegiate career at Kentucky, then going to Arkansas. And now at Illinois. VCU's got free throws. Front end of it is missed, but they get the rebound back. And a 3 from up top misses, and it's Avicic there with another rebound. Wagler into the front court with just about 2 minutes left. 22-point margin. Wagler on the midcourt logo, Avicic a screen. Wagler drifts right. Feeds Avicic off the left. Return for Wagler. Timer at 6. Wagler a drive. Kicks into the right corner. Hummerkaus catches and fires. And it's splashed down on another Illinois 3. Ben Hummerkaus, his first 3-point hit of the day. And the lead only swells. Jordan Tillery at the other end for VCU. Strong into the paint. Rises up and scores off glass. Tillery, a freshman from Orlando, playing in just his 12th game of the season. Also, you've got Evans still out there for VCU. Wagler still on the ball. Brad Underwood's got 3 Illinois players set to check in at the next whistle as he'll go deep into his bench. In fact, a 4th Illini player goes to the scorer's table. Wagler got trapped. Boswell drives the lane, lobs it up. Oh, Stojakovic went for a slam, and he missed it, and then he tried to tap the rebound to himself, and instead he batted it out of bounds. And with just over a minute left, that'll allow the substitutes to come in. Both teams will go deep into their bench as we wind this one down. Again, once we finish up here, we encourage you to find the other stream on this channel with High Point and Arkansas. That is about 4 minutes to go in the first half there. As VCU inbounds and brings it up, Evans nearly had it stripped. He gets it back over to the front court, and Tracy steps into a 3. It's off target. On the end line, it was kept inbounds by Keyshawn Mitchell, but he threw it away. Illinois ball with under a minute to go. And a lot of Illinois players on the floor that don't often get to play, like Mihailo Petrovic, Brandon Lee. Here's a drive up the middle by Blake Fagbemi, and he misses a reverse layup. VCU on the rebound. Up the floor they come. Drive to the rim by Tillery. He misses, but there's a foul called against Illinois with 30 seconds left. And just one more reminder that Tomorrow we'll have 4 more live streams for you. We'll do the 2 games that take place in St. Louis and the 2 Philadelphia games. That starts at noon Eastern time with Miami and Purdue as Tillery misses the first free throw. Miami and Purdue at noon, followed by Kentucky and Iowa State. Then Virginia, Tennessee at 6 will be followed by UConn and UCLA. Standing ovation from the VCU fans as Phil Martelli Jr. gets some starters off the floor, including Tracy, who has his collegiate career come to an end here tonight. Tillery's second free throw is no good. Offensive rebound, though, to Mitchell. And another possession for VCU. Tyrell Ward slices down the middle. Driving layup is good. And Illinois inbounds it, and time going to run out here on VCU's terrific season. And a fantastic season for Illinois going to continue on to Houston. Mihailo Petrovic dribbling out the clock. That's it, that's all from Greenville. Illinois by 21 knocks out VCU. 76-55 is the final score. And not a lot of teams looked more impressive over the first weekend of games than Illinois did. 35-point victory against Penn, 21-point victory against VCU as Illinois steamrolls their way to the Sweet 16. So now they'll play Houston in Houston in the South Regional semifinal at a to-be-determined time on Thursday. They'll be joined in that regional by Vanderbilt and Nebraska's winner, along with the winner of Florida and Iowa. That game tips off tomorrow night at 10 minutes past 7 in the East in Tampa. Nebraska and Vanderbilt is going on right now. So Illinois picks up their 26th win of the season. 2 dominant victories in Greenville. Not a lot of teams hotter than Brad Underwood's team right now, and Andrei Stojakovic was the star today. But really, this team right here, everyone that plays on this roster is a star. That's how good they are. Final score, 76-55. The Illini take out the Rams. Stay on this channel and tune in to Arkansas and High Point in their second round game in Portland, and we'll rejoin you for 4 more games tomorrow from the NCAA tournament, along with NASCAR at Darlington and Lightning and Flames at 8 o'clock tomorrow night for some hockey. That is it for us. 2 good games in Greenville. Duke over TCU, Illinois over VCU. And we'll see you tomorrow. And